I always thought my family had my back until I discovered the truth. They weren't the people I grew up believing in. Everything I trusted, everything I loved. It was all a lie, and I had no idea how deep it went. I remember my life vividly. I was living independently, but always close to my family, my older brother, Jake, my younger sister, Emily, my parents, Mark and Linda. I loved them all. Or at least I thought I did. We had the kind of family dinners and holidays that looked perfect from the outside. Birthdays, shared laughter, inside jokes, memories that now feel like they were built on a fragile foundation, but subtle things had always been there. Small cracks I ignored. Jake would quietly take credit for my work achievements. Emily would exchange glances with our parents in hushed conversations. And once I asked about my own inheritance, they quickly changed the subject. At the time, I brushed it off, thinking maybe I was overreacting. But now, I can see how those moments were the first hints of something far darker. I prided myself on my honesty and trust, and realizing that betrayal was coming from my own family cut deeper than anything I had imagined. It's one thing for a stranger to betray you, but when it's your own family, it feels like the floor disappeared beneath your feet. The small things, the whispers behind my back, the hidden documents, the unusual bank transfers, I started noticing them all. I didn't confront anyone yet. I couldn't. I had to understand the full extent of what was happening. I decided to stay calm, observe, and collect information quietly. I couldn't afford to act impulsively. Patience was my weapon, and I would need it more than I realized. Every smile, every casual conversation, every seemingly innocent gesture from them now felt layered with deceit, and I knew, deep down, that one day they would regret underestimating me. I didn't know yet how deep their betrayal ran, or how much pain they had caused me, but I knew one thing. I was going to make sure they paid for every lie, every secret, every betrayal. And I had a plan. A plan that would unfold slowly, silently. And when it did, they wouldn't see it coming. I knew that the betrayal ran deeper than I had imagined. The quiet hints, the hidden conversations, the subtle manipulations, they were all part of a carefully constructed facade. My family, the people I trusted most, had been orchestrating a betrayal that would hit me where it hurt the most. It wasn't just about money or inheritance or even lies. They had undermined my very sense of self. I felt isolated, trapped in a house that once felt like a sanctuary, now turned into a labyrinth of deceit. I started piecing together the evidence, small things that didn't make sense before Emily's secretive messages. Jake's sudden unexplained wealth, the strange withdrawals from our family accounts all started forming a pattern. Every discovery was like a knife twisting in my chest, but I kept my composure. Losing control wasn't an option. Patience was my ally, and every day I observed, collected, and waited for the right moment to act. There were nights I stayed awake, replaying conversations, memorizing faces, noting every gesture, every word that might later confirm what I already suspected. My parents, who I thought were beyond reproach, had been silently siding with Jake, protecting him, and dismissing my concerns with a smile that now made my skin crawl. I realized that they had underestimated me, assuming that their familial bond would keep me passive, silent, and compliant. They didn't know that I was calculating, observing, and planning my every move. The emotional toll was heavy. I felt rage, heartbreak, and a deep, simmering sadness. But I learned to channel it. Every setback, every small betrayal became a stepping stone. I started envisioning how I could reveal the truth in a way that was not just satisfying, but irreversible. This wasn't about revenge in the impulsive sense, it was about strategy. I had to wait until the moment was perfect, when their arrogance would be their undoing. As dice passed, I gathered proof discreetly. Emails, messages, financial records, photos, all evidence that no one would be able to deny. I even enlisted a quiet ally, someone outside the family who could help me organize and verify the information without arousing suspicion. The plan was meticulous. Every move was calculated, and all the while, my family continued oblivious, convinced that I was still naive and trusting, just as I had appeared all those years. But patience is a double-edged sword. There were moments of doubt, moments when the weight of betrayal threatened to break me. Yet, I reminded myself why I was doing this. This was not just about exposing the truth. It was about reclaiming my dignity, showing them that betrayal has consequences, and that the person they underestimated most could outsmart them at every turn. I held my composure, kept my voice calm, and let my mind sharpen. Every conversation, every encounter was now an opportunity to learn more, to confirm my plan, to anticipate their reactions. And then it happened. A slip, a small misstep from Jake that revealed just how arrogant he had become. Emily let a detail escape in casual conversation. My parents unknowingly confirmed my suspicions. Each piece clicked perfectly, and I realized that the moment I had been waiting for was near. The stage was set, the evidence in place, and I was ready to execute a plan that would finally reveal the truth in a way that they could never recover from, leaving them stunned, regretful, and aware of the full scope of their betrayal. I could feel the shift before anyone else noticed it. The confidence in Jake's voice had turned careless, almost smug. Emily stopped watching her words. My parents grew too comfortable, too sure that everything was under control. They believed I was still the same person, quiet, trusting, unwilling to challenge them. That belief was the final mistake they made. I didn't rush. I waited for the moment when the truth would hurt the most, not through shouting or confrontation, but through undeniable clarity. I arranged a family meeting under the excuse of settling some paperwork. Nothing dramatic, just a calm request that felt ordinary enough not to raise suspicion. They agreed without hesitation. That alone told me everything I needed to know. When we sat down together, I let them talk first. I watched their expressions, the way they interrupted each other, the way Jake spoke with confidence that wasn't his to own. Then, quietly, I began laying out the facts, one by one. No accusations, just evidence, bank records, messages, dates, names, timelines. Each detail landed softly, but the impact was devastating. At first, they laughed. Then, they denied it. Then, the silence came. I could see it in their faces the exact moment they realized they were exposed. Emily's hand started shaking. My father avoided eye contact. My mother tried to explain, but there was nothing left to explain. Jake finally snapped, raising his voice. but it only made him look guilty. I stayed calm the entire time. That was the hardest part for them to understand. I wasn't angry anymore. Primera, Jua ese dan. I told them I had already taken steps to protect myself legally. The assets that were taken would be reviewed. The lies they told others would be corrected. Nothing illegal, nothing dramatic. Just consequences. Real ones. The kind that follow you quietly, long after the conversation ends. No one apologized the way I expected. Instead, they looked at me like they were seeing a stranger. And maybe I was. The version of me that trusted blindly didn't exist anymore. I stood up, thanked them for their honesty, finally, and walked out without waiting for a response. The aftermath was silent. Messages I didn't answer. Calls I didn't return. I didn't feel victory the way movies portray it. What I felt was relief, peace, closure. I hadn't destroyed anyone. I had simply removed myself from a lie and forced the truth into the open. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet, controlled, and permanent. I don't hate my family. I just see them clearly now. And that clarity changed everything. I built my life without their approval, without their manipulation, and without their shadows hanging over me. And for the first time, I felt free. If this story felt real to you, maybe it's because betrayal often comes from the people we trust the most. And sometimes, the strongest revenge is choosing yourself and walking away with your dignity intact. If you want to hear more stories like this, stories that glamorize revenge, but reveal its truth,